Okay, we're good? All right. We're going to call the Star City Council meeting to order. It's Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024 at 7 p.m. here at the Star City Hall. I'd like you all to please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And we're going to have Councilman Wheelock give our invocation tonight.
Our Father in heaven, we're grateful for this opportunity to gather as a city council, and we're grateful for the opportunity that we have to live in a free country, to be able to celebrate the freedoms that we enjoy, and to work together to better our city and community and neighborhoods. We're grateful for those that sacrifice on behalf of our city to protect us from fire and misdeeds. We're grateful for those citizens that come and participate and join with us to make a better community. We ask thy blessing this week as we celebrate our independence, that we might have safety in our community and enjoy the time together with our friends and family. We are grateful for all that we have and say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Roll call.
Kevin Wheelock,
Here.
Trevor Chadwick,
Here.
Jennifer Salmonson,
Here.
and Kevin Nielsen.
Present.
And Hershey's online.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yep. You got that? Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to move on to item 4, the public comment period. And Ryan's bringing me the sheet, I'm assuming, right? All right. And I'm going to start out real quick by introducing everybody to the Niederheiter family. They went floating on the Boise River today. They're from Germany. They want to come and see our council meeting. Maddie was my exchange student, if you guys don't recall, from a year ago. So you've been gone for almost actually over 1 year now, right? But he's back. They're here visiting, and they want to come see our 4th of July celebration. So they'll be here on Thursday. So welcome. All right, we have, try to read this. Oh, Mary Jane. I almost couldn't read your writing there. Marlo here, go ahead. And remember, everybody's got 3 minutes to speak up here at the podium.
To stand right here.
Yeah, you need to stand behind that so it's on the camera
But I'm
and then
not
speak.
tall.
That's all right, we can see you.
Okay.
Right, you're good. Yep, go ahead, ma'am. State your name and address for the record.
Mary Jane Marlowe, 485 South Winslow Bay Way, Star, Idaho, 83669. Mayor Chadwick, council members, thank you, and Jennifer Salmon and Mayor for the public comment, change on the agenda. Okay, in a nutshell, Freedom Park's tree layout and design. Okay, my reason for taking a few minutes of your time today is pretty much the bottom line. That's it. My comments, I'll leave you at the end of my 3 minutes. I believe you all have them from June 4th. The mayor put those out. I love this park. I live 5 minutes away. Walk my dog there. I envision some suggestions from my many years, I won't tell you how many, of arboricultural experience that I would like you to consider before the first tree is planted. Please don't plant singular trees like sentinels around. I haven't looked at your landscape design. I looked at it real quickly, but I think this park can be destined to be one of the most unique and best parks in Idaho, if not the Pacific Northwest. That's really thanks to your leadership, starting from the mayor. It's not a Julia Davis or an Ann Morrison kind of park, but where trees are planted to highlight the best form and growth habits they possess. The bones of this park will be the trees, not the structures. 100 years from now, you'll be replacing the structures. These trees will show us their grit, their beauty, their resilience, breadth and width. Plan for 500 years of tree growth. Plant in groves. Dedicate a grove to the veterans of every world war we've ever had. Have plaques at the bottom of these trees from family members or businesses that would like to dedicate it to them. They don't have to be dead, by the way. Have whole groves maintained by businesses for maintenance and upkeep. Schwab, for example. You're looking at a large maintenance output over a lot of years. Please consider approach to the placement of trees that a landscape architect may not have considered. I'd like to come back and give a longer PowerPoint presentation to give you my idea of these suggestions. I think my 3 minutes are probably up. Any
Well, you're
questions?
close, but I will just tell you that there's not time to come back and do a PowerPoint presentation because
Okay.
trees are going to start getting planted here in the next 2 weeks since they got water.
Okay,
Just so you're aware on that. It doesn't mean that we can't make changes in the future, but for the current design, that's just, they're coming in and they're going to start planting those trees. And I
Mhm.
just, question for you though, on the you said sentinel trees. So you're just saying singular trees, one tree?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I just want to make sure I understood where you were going with that.
they just plant them apart.
Very good. Thanks, Miss Mary Jane. Any questions of Mary Jane?
Can
All
I
right.
pass this around again?
Yeah, you can absolutely hand it to him. Yeah, it's fine. No, you're fine. This is a light night, so
Thank you.
thank
Jacob
you.
probably
And
wants
then
one of those,
give one
too.
to Mr. Jacob there for us, please. Thank you.
Perfect.
All right, Miss Dana signed up to speak too. We know who you are, but state your name and address.
Okay. Dana Partridge, 11330 West 2nd Street. I just wanted to follow up on that. What some of you may not know, I have been working closely with the landscape architect of Freedom Park as part of the Veterans Memorial Garden that is planned for a corner of it. Mr. Loring Evans has a degree in landscape architecture from the University of Connecticut. He has been in the state of Idaho for 30 years. He has planned some really beautiful projects here in Idaho that are nationally renowned. Two Rivers subdivision he's done. He's done the Whitewater Park up at Kelly Whitewater Park up at Cascade. He's done event centers. Mint Barrel, I believe, is one of them. So he is nationally recognized. And I believe that having a Loring Evans Park in Star is actually going to be a feather in our cap as he is nationally recognized. So I'm confident he will do Star proud.
Okay. Thank you. All right, that's all that signed up. We're going to move on to the presentation updates. Miss Jennifer is going to give us a pathway plan update. As you guys are, let me just
Yeah.
reference it. As you're aware that we approved a Kimley Horn to do our master pathways plan here in the city. And Miss Jennifer and the committee have been working hard with them on this. And so she's going to give you an update on here.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Chadwick. So I believe the project started in March was our first meeting. It was with city staff, transportation committee, and Kimley Horn, who is the consultant that is helping us develop this master pathway plan. And Kimley Horn, they have been they've had someone at the transportation committee meetings. They meet monthly, and so they've had somebody come to each month meeting and provide an update. But they've also been working with staff like once or twice a month. They've been meeting with staff to, work on the gathering information and putting everything together. So getting input. But right now, we're at the point of gathering public input. And so there is I think it's on the city website right now. If you go to staridaho.org/pathways, you'll see this website. And we're asking for community input for the plan. And there's a really cool map. There's a button over on the left side there. and that opens up an interactive comment map. And in here, you can drop a little pin at different locations around town about, say, you want to see a pathway here. Like you want to connect into, I don't know, Hillsdale. You want a different way to get to Freedom Park. So you can put your own little comments in there. And so that's one feature that we're looking for, places that people want to walk. And then go back, we have share your big idea. Let's see. Yeah, so I guess your big idea, you get a
Make your big comments there.
Yep. And this is just going live, so pretty excited. Okay, and then this determine park priorities is pretty cool. You have $100 budget, and you get to select how you want to spend that money for different amenities along the pathway. So it really, kind of makes you think, like, do you want to prioritize and how you want to spend your money for these different features along the pathway. And then there's a survey, probably one of the most important things on here, along with the map. Please go out there, take this survey. We're going to review everybody's input, and this is, a good way to get your input into the plan. We're also going to have 2 open houses. The first one will be July 15th, and the second on July 25th from 6 to 8 at the River House. Just a place for you to see maps and provide more input. I'm hoping for a great turnout. There'll be snacks there too. So, and then after we get everybody's input, we'll continue to work with the consultant to develop that final plan that will come in front of council, hopefully in October for adoption, hopefully.
Right. Hopefully it's ready in October for adoption, and then we can include it in part of our impact fee
Yeah.
group to look at impact fees for pathways in STAR. Any questions of Miss
So
Jennifer
exciting to move it along.
Hershey? Okay.
Sorry, couldn't find unmute. I'm good.
Find the mute button. Okay. All right. Hearing no questions. Thank you, Jennifer. Do we have claims?
Yes, there
You're
are.
on there because I didn't see a date or anything. Okay, so we got to move on to item 6, the consent agenda.
Mayor Chadwick,
Councilwoman,
I'll move that we approve the consent agenda consisting of item 6A, the approval of claims.
okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second that.
We have a motion, a second by Councilman Wheelock. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Hershey,
Aye.
Wheelock,
Aye.
Salmonson, Nielsen.
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries. Thank you. Move on to item 7, action items. A resolution 2024-14, setting Freedom Park rules. This has become necessary because Freedom Park has become a place, destination for a lot of folks. I think Maddie, you went there last night with Wade and jumped off that and had fun. So off the diving platform. So here, the list of rules are in our packet right here. This is going to allow our police to help enforce the challenges that we face. It's actually gotten better since the first week, right? For the most part, sure. See, Dale's, is he in his shorts? Oh, no. I thought maybe he was down at the park. Just came from there. So we're entertaining, if you guys want to discuss it, but entertain a motion to approve the resolution. And it's actually -14 now. It's not -13. That was written incorrectly. So, okay,
Mayor Chadwick,
Councilwoman.
so I was wondering if we could just talk about maybe adding a couple of items to this list. And so the first one was adding something about glass containers, that would be prohibited.
Take what moving it, Ryan.
I've heard that there's been some glass down there, and it would just be nice if we just kind of, I think, set that precedent earlier.
We can add to this, right? Yes, okay. Yes, we can add. to
Okay,
it.
so I would just say, yeah, use of glass containers is prohibited. And then regarding animals, I know that we have a dog, we like a dog swim area and people are invited. We want them to go and, take their dog if they want. But I'm wondering if we just add something that says dogs must be under the control of their handler and animal waste must be cleaned up and deposited in a garbage receptacle.
Any challenges with that, Zach? Chief?
Sorry, can you say that one more time?
Yep. Dogs. So maybe the title's animals, and then dogs must be under the control of their handler, and animal waste must be cleaned up and deposited in a garbage receptacle.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, Councilwoman Solomson. So we do have citywide, we have the dog leash, that all dogs have to be on a leash. So I would include this park. The other parks, there's no dogs allowed, a lot of them. This one, obviously, there are dogs allowed, so we can enforce the no dogs off leash. But we also, I know that according to the deputies that have been down there, they like seeing the dogs swim out, get balls out in the pond, that type of thing. I don't think there's an actual area designated for swimming for dogs.
There is, it's on the east side, but that's going to be one of the most impossible things to enforce,
Yes, yep.
in my opinion. And then, so I guess my question is, dog must be under control. Does your definition of control mean letting them out in the water to swim outside of the leash?
Well, what was brought up is because if you read our code, it doesn't talk about an actual dog leash. It talks about dog being under control.
Okay.
Now, if that means those hunting dogs have those collars that you can hit the button and remote where redirect them towards where the owner is. I think that fits that code. We could word it on this. I do think it's a good idea to put it on the rules. That way people can still read because they don't know the city codes and STAR. But I do agree with Councilwoman Solomson that we put something on the rule board or on the sign that states something about animals being under control of their owner. And maybe that's enough to enforce that. And if it becomes an issue, we can trespass them from there or enforce the city code that we already have.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then I guess I was thinking about the litter issue. I think the state law has something about littering on public property. So I just happened to come across that. Idaho State Code 18-7031. It states that leaving debris may result in a fine of $150. And then just to add the statement, because this is just kind of the rules of the park. Just to
And I
add
think
this.
that's a standard rule for all of our.
Yes, but just so people are aware that it could be used. And then just a sentence that says, help keep the park clean by picking up after yourself.
Okay.
So I'll read it again and make sure that that's correct with our attorney. I don't know if we would want to put the state, like that code on there or not, or, Chief, you would know better how to do that. But it just seems we might want to have some sort of mechanism if needed that we could help with the litter if it gets out of control.
Okay. Any questions? Chris, comments? So he needs a microphone.
Thanks. Yeah, so all three of these, the glass containers, the animals, and the litter, they're all part of the city's current park ordinance. And so, which is totally fine if you want to add those into the rules also, as Chief was saying, some people read the rules, they don't go read the code. I don't think you necessarily need to refer to the state code. You can certainly reference city code regarding litter, which is 6-1-3, if you wanted to, but you're not referring to the city code and any of the other ones. So I don't know that necessarily on litter, that one is the one that needs to stand out as referencing a particular code provision. I think if you're going to prohibit litter, then prohibit litter. there's probably some question of what the penalties are for somebody that, violates a rule that's not necessarily a statute, or excuse me, an ordinance of the city. Anything in the city ordinance typically is a misdemeanor, published, punishable by up to a year in jail and all that kind of stuff, like any other misdemeanor. Like boat use, is there if they're violating the rules, does that become just a city code enforcement?
Well, it becomes a trespass thing, is what we're referring it to. And then we trespass them off the property, it could be handled through the trespass law.
Okay, and does it say that on the rules?
I think it says it I think we said it on the rules that we posted so far out there, correct? Zach?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, the
that's-
rules on the sandwich board, it says at the bottom there that you'll be trespassed.
I just want to make sure that that's clear, that people know what the potential
And
penalty is.
Mr. Mayor, and the reason why we have this, so the trespassing is kind of the catch-all for all this, because we have a hard time enforcing all these laws with criminal charges, so to say. But what you can do, because it's a public park, the city of Stark can trespass people from it if they're not obeying those rules. And so what we've been talking about is when they violate one of the rules, such as what we just talked about there, and we can actually trespass them from the park, and we keep a list of who's been trespassed, and if they come back, then obviously we can arrest them for trespassing.
Under the state statute for trespassing.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so do we want to add anything about picking up their litter, or is it not needed?
I think it's just the same as the other two you mentioned, the glass containers and the animals. All three of those are currently in the city code. If you are comfortable adding those as into the rules, I would, to me, it's the same analysis for all three of
Yeah.
them. If if the city council says, yeah, let's go ahead, add it to the rules list so that the public has more notice, great. If the council feels like, we've got it in our city code, we'll just rely on the city code, then that's fine too, and they don't need to be added. But I think the analysis is the same for all three of them.
Okay. Personally, I think it would be helpful to include them in the rules.
We can put them on the rule board. It doesn't matter. I mean, this is not telling us what to put on the rule board. This is just simply providing rules for the park,
Mr. Mayor,
specific rules. Who
Mr.
Mr.
Mayor?
Mayor me?
right here.
Oh, sorry. You sit right here talking to me.
I'll scoot in. If we're gonna make them all these rules and put them on a sandwich board or on a sign of some kind, what's gonna make our chief's job easier to be able to say yes and no every time we have a rule challenge?
Well,
Right?
if it's in this, right, I think it's,
Because I don't want to make
references-
them nitpick every answer on every picnic table. You go, oh, they got 4 glass
Chief, are you-
containers.
you guys looking it up? Oh. You what? Okay.
Mr. Mayor, we were just talking about the actual, we're looking at the Idaho statute of trespass and just going through that. When's an infraction, when's a misdemeanor, but we're right on the same point where we're at, where if we trespass somebody, depending on how their reaction is to that, it's either an infraction, or if they refuse to leave, then it turns into a misdemeanor. And so it could be where we trespass somebody, they leave, they come back, we cite them for an infraction. And if they come back a third time, that's when we're going to arrest them by the Idaho statute. So essentially that might be where we're at, but it'll still have the same consequences.
So Councilman Wheelock was asking, is it make it easier to put these things in our resolution, or if they're already in our code, I think is what you're asking? What's the best way for you to be able to handle this?
I worry about Deputy Morehouse going picnic table to picnic table looking for glass containers. And that's what I'm saying. Then it loses its teeth to me if that's the case. And I don't want to make it, I get the glass and I don't want it, but also don't want to have them worried about every little thing because they don't have time to do picnic table to picnic table and it loses its value quickly.
Mr. Mayor. So if we follow through with our long-term plan down there, we would have Park and Rec staff down there. If we have something in the rules that says no glass, that gives them the opportunity to address that with those individuals that says, hey, our park rules do say no glass. And it doesn't, if it escalates beyond that, then it would move to where law enforcement would have to get involved. So having those things on here would allow our staff down there to be able to address it and hopefully eliminate some of the problems before we have to get law enforcement involved.
Mayor Chadwick.
Councilman Nielsen.
You know, I think a lot of these things are common sense, and I'm supportive of adding some of these things to the list of rules. I wonder if people just need a reminder now and then, even to pick up trash, like, you know, just a sign that says, remember to pick up your trash, something friendly. And remember to keep your dog under control or on leash or whatever it is. I don't know that we need extra rules or extra laws in order to put up a sign that just helps prompt people to remember to be courteous and kind and take care of their community.
And you're right, with if these three things are already in our code, we could put signs up on anything out there about it, right? I don't think it's not going to be an issue. The trash thing, guys, I just let you know, Dan Sloan with the Lions Club stepped up. Like on Sundays, we have limited staff. And he's gotten a group of volunteers to go out there and help pick up any trash that's been left and empty the garbage cans as a volunteer basis. So we do have a community that's willing to step up and help out as well with some of that stuff. But I mean, they can, in my opinion, the police can enforce our city code and trespass people, and then we're good as far as how we handle that versus trying to take them to court.
And Mr. Mayor, the nice thing, sorry, I don't know if I can interrupt you,
Go ahead.
Councilman Wheelock or Nielsen. The nice thing about having it on the sign, even though I don't want to have, 30 rules on a sign because they're never going to read it. The nice thing is we can, if somebody wants to argue, well, I can have a glass container. We can take them to that sign and show them right here. It says you can't.
And we can put anything on the
So,
sign.
But yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I mean, we don't necessarily have to put it in the resolution. It's already there. We just
Correct.
write it on the sign, but whatever signage we want up there. It doesn't take the council to approve the sign. Right.
Right, it just seems like.
It's us that are
That's setting
enforcing it and
those
maintaining it if we need
rules.
to put it up there. Right? And we could put these reminder signs like you're saying, reminder, keep your dogs in control in different locations on that park, right? Different things like that.
And you mentioned,
Don't be a litter bug.
you brought up trash receptacles, things like that. Maybe we need to look at having a few more of those around. Like if we're having
We do.
extra problems, let's just put one where the problem is. And
So the challenge right now is the park got very popular before it was done. That's our challenge, right? There are a lot of trash receptacles coming for the park. We just have temporary wooden ones that we used to have in the parks out here before we switched over that we're utilizing for right now on there. And we do have staff going to empty those out more often. So we will have a lot more trash receptacles when it's done. It's just not to that point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great. What a
Okay.
wonderful problem to have.
It's a great problem to have. I mean, when you see, I don't know how many kids, hundreds of kids down there swimming, right? Families all along the beach. Now, some of the challenges you do hear from folks is some of the people that are out of the city that are been causing the problems. And that's what's prompting a lot of our rural stuff on there, right? But it has gotten better. The neighbor to the north, Miss Nancy, man, she's been stressed out because she's had people walk through her property, people come up to her horses, and she's just freaking out. And we went and talked to her, the chief, Kevin and I, and she actually sent me a note yesterday that said this weekend was much better since we've had the police presence there, right? And so part of what we've talked about too in our budget is bringing Deputy TAC on board next summer, the SRO from Eagle Middle, who will be stationed down there during the summer months to help us out with this problem.
Kids can't get away from it.
Kids will not be able to get away from our SRO.
He knows the challenge, students.
He knows them and stuff,
I
and that'll
love
help
it.
us out. Huh? Well, we got
just looked at
music.
it.
I mean, music to me, it's all about noise ordinance stuff, right? There is something to find on how, I mean, do we want to tell everybody they can't have any music there? You can't really
So-
do that. But
so-
the sound part of that where there is a rule about that in our code already.
so Mr. Mayor, Chief Essinger again. We just barely updated our sound ordinance to talks about music. And so we can always enforce that out there if it's a problem. The nice thing is once we get more police officer presence down there, I know it'd be really nice to have Star Parks or Star Rec people down there kind of helping out. But as we're walking around, if we see someone with a glass bottle, if we see those type of things, we can go up and talk to them.
Yeah.
A lot of it, if they're not causing a problem, then they're not going to be drawing attention to it. But when they start causing a problem or turning up music so loud that no one else can enjoy the park, then that's where it becomes an issue. But we do have a city ordinance about the music, even during the daytime. It doesn't have to do about during the nighttime. So
I can address that, because we've had some kids, but again, we've even had kid jump, I mean, we have to put stuff on here for the structure. We already put signs up last year on the structure. We had a kid jump off, break his jaw. Right? I
Mhm.
mean, I think others have figured out that that's probably not the wisest thing to do. I mean, you still see some folks, kids doing it, so. All right. Any other questions or comments? Well, I'll entertain a motion then. Remember, it's -14, not -13.
Just want to kind of clarify a little bit. So I heard adding litter and glass containers.
Well, we'll see what they're going to do in their motion. We may not add them because they're already in the code. You see what I mean? She asked to add those
Yeah.
three things. I think Councilman Wheelock and Nielsen kind of said otherwise possibly.
I
On
like
the, on the
I
resolution.
like the idea of putting it on the sign.
Right.
I don't like the idea of putting it in the resolution only because I don't see the enforcement happening as much as if it's a problem, then we enforce it and they can already do that. Would be my opinion. And I don't want to require them to say, go check every table. It just loses its mustard fast for me. I think most of the people down there are going to try to be responsible with those containers because everybody's in bare feet anyway.
So I guess when we have a motion, we'll see where the motion goes. And then we'll have the clarification from Jacob so he knows what it needs to be. All right. So I'd
Wow.
entertain a motion.
Maybe I'll get turned down. I'm going to go for it. Okay, I'm going to make a motion that we approve Resolution 2024-14, the setting of Freedom Park rules, with the addition of the glass containers are prohibited, animals must be under the control of their handler, and litter must be picked up as noted in our Star City Code.
So I just want to make a clarification point here. If it does fail, then we can't go back and do an alternate motion, can we?
You can make
Can I?
another one.
Can I? I got to verify. that.
Sorry.
I can. Well, if nobody seconds it. But if, okay, all right. Anybody want to second that? Hearing none. That motion doesn't go. So entertain a new motion.
Do you want to do a new one
No,
without
you
it?
go for it.
Okay. Mayor Chadwick, I move that we approve Resolution 2024-14, setting rules in Freedom Park as they stand.
Okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Yeah, we got a motion, and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call? Or do you got a discussion item? Okay, roll call?
Hershey,
Aye.
Wheelock,
Aye.
Simonson,
Aye, because it has to pass. We need the rules.
Nielsen.
Aye. Did you get an aye? Aye, yes.
Nelson got an aye. Well, thank you. If you would have said no, then we're going to make you go down there. And you're going to patrol for everybody.
No.
So, all right, so that motion carries. Good, thank you. And we will get signage up. There's going to be permanent signs and stuff like that as soon as the park is done, okay? All right, we're going to move on to item 7B, the tentative adoption of the FY 2024-2025 budget. After our last workshop, I sent you guys out we have to do this so Jacob can publish it. No, you don't have anything on there. So I'm gonna talk real quick. So based off of our discussions, I sent this out to you guys after that last meeting. And basically our revenue, the maximum, it'll be $17,467,273.71. Of that, property tax is going to be $2,014,430, and our expenditures is going to be $17,467,273.71. $467,273.71. So we just need you guys to approve that so he can get it published. It's just tentative. This is not an approval of a budget by any means. This is the maximum allowed.
Mayor Chadwick.
Councilwoman?
Same numbers matched as what you just stated, and I will go ahead and move to approve the numbers that you stated.
Okay, we got a motion. We have a second.
I'll second.
We got a motion, second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Hershey,
Aye.
Wheelock,
Aye.
Salmonson,
Aye.
Nielsen.
Aye.
All right, that motion carries. Thank you. And just for everybody's, on August 6th is our actual budget hearing on August 6th. What? 6th is the first Tuesday of August. Okay? Very good. Thank you. I know Councilman Hershey is on the other side of the country right now. So I just real quick want to let everybody know that, Ryan Morgan, our city engineer, has been working hard with the state. The state's throwing all this money out at replacing bridges. And we have getting a historical bridge for Freedom Park to go over the slough. It's a 90-foot span, really cool bridge. So we'll see that as part of that project. We are also in the running for another 250-foot bridge in the state of Idaho. It's a cool old structure for a potential bridge over the Boise River from Freedom Park to the BLM land. So we'll bring that back to you if that happens. But that's pretty cool that we could get those bridges like that here in Star. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
bought my first Frisbees for Frisbee golf and I'm ready.
You're ready. Hopefully soon. We're going to start seeing stuff going soon. So it is 7:36 and I'm going to adjourn.